The Honorable Chief Justice and Associate Justices of the Supreme Court.
The House will come to order.
The Senate will come to order.
Representative Lundberg, you're recognized on item 117, House Joint Resolution 753.
I'll make this quick. So, HJR 753 is...
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Just back up.
Chairman Curtis. Chairman Coley wanted me to be last. He said, you're last.
Well, no, you're not. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. HJR 753 is a vehicle for enshrining the state constitution in the state constitutional system of merit-based appointments with retention elections for appellate judges. What I would like to do is move this into the full committee. We can tighten this down as an HJR, and the resolution's language is really simply stated to accomplish these goals. With that, I make motion on the bill.
Second. Any discussion? Question's been called for. Any objection to the question? Seeing none. So the committee is ready to vote. All those in favor of sending House Joint Resolution 753 to the full committee signify by saying aye. Aye. The aye. No. The ayes have it. Moves to full committee.
Takes us up to item 25. Item 25, House Joint Resolutions 753. Representative Lundberg, you're recognized, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the vehicle for enshrining the state constitution system as we have now for merit-based appointments with retention elections for judges. The resolution's language you'll see is pretty simplistic. I would take you to and take a look at Section 3, which gives the General Assembly the latitude to determine some of the language in there. From here, I believe it is destined to finance, and I would like to move it there. My intention is, frankly, to add an amendment, probably in finance, because right now we have two sections where the resolution's been drafted for a back-end confirmation by the General Assembly, and front-ended is not to be both. And so that is the amendment that I foresee. And if it was dramatically different than that, Mr. Chairman, I would be happy to re-refer it back here at your request. So, but with that, I'm
Representative Lundberg, if that's presented in finance, if any member on the committee has a problem with it, would you care you referred it back to?
Yeah, I would ask him to go through you to determine if that issue, and at your request, I would be happy to move it back. But with that explanation, I'd move past it.
Thank you for that agreement. Any discussion?
No amendment right now.
No. Representative Bass, you're recognized.
Okay, during the discussion here, we voted to move this out. Is that what you said to finance? And I'm sorry, I
believe that's Mr. Chairman. Is it destined? Yes, it's destined for finance.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And he's agreed. If y'all have a problem with it, if there's an issue, he'll refer it back. Representative Moore.
I'm sitting there looking at it, but even though we're going to potentially move it out to finance with the premise that it's coming back here, assuming that the fiscal note getting taken off, is that the reason it's coming back here, or is there another reason that it may come back?
I believe it would. The fiscal note will be taken off, but I would come back here if I did anything that truly departed from what you're seeing. If there was major changes and you had a problem and the chairman said that's correct, I would re-refer it back. The intent is, as you see in an HJR, I can tighten it up. I cannot expand an HJR in its scope.
Okay, real quick, I'll read what your 10 is here, but when you say constitutional amendment, I'm real itchy. Let me lose that term, I guess, when we talk about changing the Constitution. And what you're doing here is you're amending the Article 6, Section 3 of the Constitution to ensure a system. Ensure it in what manner? I mean, what's the language? I'd like to have some kind of idea what the language that maybe the constitutional amendment would look like.
Well, I think you're seeing it very close right now. There's been a lot of discussions on the election of judges, and that I think this will address that issue and hopefully put that to rest.
Well, it's very open-ended the way I read it. It says propose an amendment to the Constitution in order to constitutionally ensure a system for select of each appellate court judge by means of merit-based gubernatorial appointment.
The system that we have currently. That is, what you just described is the system we have currently in place.
Well, then what are you changing?
We're not. I think this plan, the Tennessee plan...
You're just wanting to clarify what you perceive is already in the Constitution. Is that what you're trying to do?
Correct, and put it to the people. So when we pass this out of here, don't forget, for this to pass, it's got to come back to the next session. It's got to pass the next